Let's be honest, when we first started the game, this is how our storage system looked like. Don't deny it. And that's a great way to store items if that's your first day on Astroneer. But thankfully Astroneer provides a lot of storage items to make our base look tighter. If you're ready to live without your random items pit, be ready, because I will show you how to make a simple automatic storage sorter system with overflow protection. Funny enough, now that I said it, I realized that it might sound like a very complicated contraption, but trust me, it's not. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see a more advanced one. So let's have a look at how it works. It's an automatic sorter and storage system because I just need to drop any resource in a specific spot and the item is automatically stored in the right canister. I can even just park my rover or VTOL and I don't need to place the storage onto the platform. As you can see, an item travels from one platform to the other and resources are automatically sorted and stored into the right canister. If there are resources that don't have a specific storage, or a canister gets full and cannot contain any more resource, they will just go at the end of the line in the overflow protection area. The overflow system works for both stackable and non-stackable items. In stackables, I mean items that can be contained in a canister, while non-stackable items cannot be contained in one of them. I like to go through the smelting and refining myself, so I'm only going to make a storage for raw resources. If you wish, you can expand this to contain refined resources as well. You can use this cheaper version with smaller platforms and canisters, but I like to use the larger ones to store the hard work of my auto extractors. I love to use the canister because it can contain a lot of resources without taking much room. Well, in this case I've got only 3 organics out of 400, so I'm not doing too good. In addition, it displays the symbol of the item to clearly identify it. Well, okay, let's be honest, I don't remember most of the symbols, but still a nice feature. I tend to remember more which resource is where because of its position. In total, we're going to need 5 extra large platforms B and 15 canisters. So let's make one together step by step. And I really hope that this pile of platforms is not gonna fall on my head. I usually place the platforms like in a circle so that I can easily reach the canisters from the central working area. So just place them more or less like this. Then on each platform add 3 canisters. Oh, canisters are falling like rain, so useful. I like to place them with the dispenser hole facing me. On the first platform I will leave the 4th tire slot free on the right side and put the canisters on the remaining 3 slots, while on all the other platforms I will leave the left slot open. You can really do as you prefer, but I like it this way. Now we want to add some platforms and auto arms at the back in a way that they can collect items from the free slot on the first platform and deposit it onto the next platform. A very important point, make sure that the green area covers all 4 of the free slots on the platform, because the auto arm will not be able to pick up a resource that is out of the green area. On the other hand, don't worry about the unloading blue area, it does not really matter if it doesn't cover all the slots on the next platform. We need to do the same for all the remaining platforms, and you can use small platforms to accommodate your auto arms, or these long ones when you cannot reach with just one auto arm, which is most of the times if you're using large platforms. Just make sure that a resource can travel from one platform to the other through 1 or 2 auto arms. And don't forget that the auto arm needs to deposit the item onto a platform as well. It should look similar to this. Now we're gonna need to set all canisters to disable output, which they should be already by default. Otherwise, any resource that we put in will go out immediately. And keep in mind that what you see when you hover your mouse on top of the canister is the mode that the auto canister will be set to if you change state by pressing the F key on a computer. So for example, if it says enable output, it is not currently on enable output, but it will be if you change the state of the canister. So to simplify this, if now you're seeing enable output, you're good to go. Now we have to set the filters for the canisters. So place at least one resource of each kind in each and every canister in the order that you prefer. You may follow the order that you see in the ingredient plinth in creative mode, which I guess is the standard, or you could do as you wish. Put resources with the same shape next to each other, or do whatever you like basically. I like to have all the resources that produce metals side by side, but feel free to do whatever makes sense to you. And I spent so much time telling you how to set up the canisters properly, and I didn't! I hope I remember to cut off this part during the video editing. Some might say, how do you get a resource when you need it? So you just need to detach the canister containing the resource that you need to get, enable output, get as many as you need, then disable output and put the canister back onto the platform. So there are other ways to do this, but this is a simple build and actually it is pretty satisfying to get the items one by one like this. If you want to automize that part too, watch the video till the end. I will show you something. We're almost done, now let's just provide some power, and ideally you want enough power to run all auto arms at the same time, but even one unit of power will be enough, the auto arms will just run slowly. But I would recommend a couple of RTGs. Make sure you connect all the platforms with auto arms to each other so that they are all powered. I like to connect all platforms because I usually have an oxygenator as well, providing oxygen. And make sure to switch on all the auto arms. For the unloading area we're gonna need one more auto arm and small platform. And now we're gonna need a platform to deposit the resources that we got. And I recommend to use at least a large platform A, so that we can place large canisters on it. I like to have it at ground level, so I can just park my rover on it and I won't need to detach any storage. And be careful though, because the auto arm will pick up any tier 1 item. Oh, including floodlights, apparently. That's hilarious. And that's why we might want to add a couple of simple things to protect our storage system. An overflow protection and a power switch. So we're going to make the overflow protection in a second, but first let's test the build and make sure everything works smoothly. Let's place some Astroneer, which should be picked up by one of the canisters down there on the last platform. And since canisters grab resources faster than auto arms, oh finally! If the resource gets to the platform with the canister storing that resource, it will be grabbed, but if no canister grabs it, then the auto arm will move the resource to the next platform and so on, till the resource is gotten by the right canister. So let's see how it's going. Oh, Astroneer is traveling in first class and he looks happy and content. And he finally reaches its destination. Now, as you can see, the floodlights are still here because there is no storage set to pick it up. So let's set up the overflow protection system to pick up any item that is not stored in the main storage area. It's very easy, we just need to add one more platform with some kind of storage. Let's go for the big one since it fits the size of this build. And we could leave it like this or add more storage on it. I recommend to clean it up from time to time because all items gone here will be stored randomly, which is not ideal for a storage system, so you can have other areas of your base to store those items. Now let's add a platform at the back and an auto arm or two if needed, provide power, switch the auto arm on, and there it goes to its new temporary house, waiting for better accommodation. If you wish to store separately specific items like EXO Chips, just add these few things after the overflow system and add a filter onto the auto arm. In this way it will be picking up that item only and store it separately. And since EXO Chips are non-stackable items, they cannot go into canisters, so I have set up this open storage here. The last thing we're gonna add is an on-off switch. Do you remember when the auto arm picked up the floodlight? If that happens a lot, it could get annoying. So what can we do? If we realize that something not supposed to be going into the system is picked up, you could just switch the power off so that the auto arms don't move it all the way to the overflow protection area. So just place a power switch nearby the loading area and make sure that power goes to the next platform only through it. Now you can easily switch power off and get cheaper electricity bills. I'm sure we can all see the benefits of moving from this to this. So I believe it's worth the effort in terms of resources needed, and if there was only one thing I could automate in my base, that would definitely be the storage. I think it saves so much time and it looks tighter. If you wish to see how to make an automated resources dispenser, also known as the vendor machine, that will give you exactly the quantity of items that you need, I will leave the link to my video in the description. Please like the video if it was useful, let me know in the comments if you wanna see a more advanced version, and consider subscribing for weekly Astroneer videos. This is Kuya Game, stay safe.